Hey everyone, hope you're having an awesome Wednesday. Weather's fantastic, so hopefully you guys get outside and enjoy it. I think it's a little teaser for what's to come. So hopefully and I'm sure it will, spring comes sooner than later. Want to pop on here and talk a little bit nutrition with you guys. Again, I'll do this every Wednesday. And if you have topics that you want to discuss or you want me to dive a little bit deeper into, feel free to hit me up and I will give you some feedback, or obviously I'll do some research to help answer any questions you may have. So what we're going to talk about today, and it's one of those components, obviously, with the nutritional coaching I do and the nutritional coaching that Aaron does with clients, not only inside the four walls of TFW, but our online clients as well, is we talk, obviously macronutrients, proteins, fats, carbs. But one component that sometimes we overlook is fiber. So today, that's the topic that I will go through a little bit and help get some clarity with, because I think we as a society, with how much processed foods and how much prepackaged foods we consume, you start to see things fortified with fiber, which is interesting. So there's ways that obviously advertisements make you feel better about the purchase, but it may not be the most healthy component that you can be consuming or way to do it, right? So I will jump into fiber. You would have to track this or get some type of, get some type of knowledge base of what your nutrition intake looks like to identify how many grams of fiber you're taking in. Obviously, you can just take pictures, or you can be more aware, write everything down for one day and data entry it, and it'll give you feedback from that standpoint. So what I'm going to talk about is fiber. I'm going to talk about the importance of fiber, and then give you ratio breakdowns of grams for male, female, and then obviously different ways to get fiber into your daily habit. So we'll jump right in. Obviously, you guys know what fiber is. Fiber takes a little bit more, and I'm not going to go into the science component of fiber. I have that content if you guys want more on that. It's kind of boring, but fiber does take longer to break down. Obviously, fiber is very good for us to consume in our diet from a natural source, and that's what's typically recommended. What I'm saying there is think about how you're consuming your fiber, because there's so many fiber supplements. We even have them here. Obviously, we've used them in different formats because some people's nutrition needs to be addressed with fiber, and maybe they're not willing to consume natural fiber sources. So we have a supplement for that, but that's not always the best way or best route to address the situation, because I'll explain that a little bit. So there's a ton of research about how fiber can reduce multiple conditions, diseases, or risk of diseases. They're talking about cardiovascular disease. They're talking about helping blood lipid profiles look better. This is just by increasing the amount of fiber you have in your diet from a natural standpoint. Fiber and diabetes, obviously, with fiber, it takes longer to break down. It stabilizes your blood sugar. So fiber will help in many facets of overall health. With digestion as well. I know we don't talk about that a lot, but going to number 2, obviously, fiber can help with moving things along in the digestive tract. So that's why multiple reasons fiber is good for you. And then overall body fat, they've associated a better fiber content or consumption with lower percentages of body fat. And that may be a correlation of how they did the study based upon the individuals they were researching may have had a better diet as well. So we got to understand that. So what I want to jump into is how to I'm going to go through recommendations on male and female, and then I'm going to go through a list. I have a list here in front of me of breakdowns of fiber, because it's good for you to know, and some simple strategies for you guys to get more fiber into your diet, because I think it's going to be important. I try to do that. I build my carb source from a fiber standpoint. So what I mean there is, when I build my meal, typically I'll have my protein source, whatever that looks like. It could be, from animal product to not animal product, but I will get around 40 grams if I have it available, and then I choose the other components. So for instance, a lot of times when we're here, what we'll do is we will have grilled chicken, and then we'll have a dense salad. So like today I had a spinach salad. The spinach salad's gonna be a little bit more dense, so it's gonna have a little bit more fiber, and then maybe some nuts and things of that nature. If we didn't have the salads, what I like to do and what Aaron does and we do at home, and we try to get our kids to do it because it's important for kids to consume fiber, because that's another component. I know a lot of kids are eating too much processed foods and not enough natural foods, so their fiber content is not even close enough. Even with our son, we have to reinforce that because it throws off his digestive system. So him going to the restroom on a regular basis can be thrown off because he's not taking in enough fiber and or obviously water. So jumping back, men and women, I didn't finish my statement, so sorry. So what I like to do with if I don't have the salad, I will go after like broccoli, asparagus, things of that nature, cauliflower, and I will make that my carb source when I build my meal. So just to jump back, I'm jumping around here, got off track. So what I want to do is give you breakdowns of where women and men should be. And I'm looking at this right now. So women, around 30 to 35 grams of fiber per day. And then obviously men is going to be a little bit higher. It's going to be 40 to 45 grams. So if we want to break that down, that's approximately, so it's around, let's just say 70 calories, 75 calories for women, and 85 calories coming from that fiber source for men. So that just gives you perspective from that standpoint. So I'm going to give you a breakdown. Broccoli, I eat broccoli a lot in different formats. We bake it, we air fry it. We obviously sometimes we steam it. It just depends how you like it. So you can make it taste obviously a lot better. Some people like it raw. So broccoli, so say if 1 cup of broccoli, so here, boom, this is probably a little bit more, give or take. Or no, this is probably a cup, so about a half cup. So a half of this of cooked. So that's the difference, because sometimes when you look up foods, you got to look to see if it's cooked or uncooked to give a ratio of calories, breakdowns of fiber, not those other components, nutrient base. So if we're looking at about a half cup of cooked broccoli, we're looking at about 2.6 total fiber grams. And again, for a female it's 30, for a male is 40 per day. So think about that. Again, that's a half cup. So you're talking about 5 and some change as far as grams if you go a cup of broccoli. So what I will go through is some other, obviously higher fiber, or just give you some perspective, because it may take you a little bit more time to get your fiber content up. So beans, legumes, things of that nature, obviously going to be higher in fiber because you don't break them all the way down. You get the nutrients out of what you need, and you'll pass on the rest. Again, they're higher in fiber. So eating 1 cup of beans is about 16 grams of fiber. So that gives you, that's closer to your total fiber consumption. I'll go through a couple other things, like apple with the skin is 3.3 grams. A banana is going to be 3.1. Pears are a little bit heavier because with the skin. Obviously, if you keep the skin on, it's 5.2, which is pretty good. We're talking oranges, it's going to be 3.2. Prunes, 4.6 grams. Raspberries is about 4.0 grams, and strawberries are 1.7. Obviously, strawberries are a little bit lower. When you jump into veggies, spinach, like I said, I have a spinach salad. If it was cooked and it was just a half cup, you're looking at 2.2. If you looked at like a baked potato, or if we do a sweet potato, when we typically do sweet potatoes at home, I will eat the skin. I like the skin, some people don't. If you take that skin in a medium potato, it's like 4.4 grams. So again, that just gives you guys perspective. When I jump over to beans, obviously beans are a lot higher. Black beans cooked, a half cup is 7.5. And then lentils is going to be pushing you up into that 10.4. So there's ways to get that in. And then the last thing I'll talk about is whole grains. Obviously, English muffin, whole wheat, probably a smaller size, is going to be 4.4. So you're going to get your fiber in multiple areas, but try to be aware of your fiber content and what does your nutrition look like if you're not taking in enough fiber, right? So if somebody's not taking in enough fiber, they're typically eating more processed foods, because you're going to get more fiber from more natural foods in its natural format, not in a processed format. So there's a couple things like kids. So I'm going to give you a breakdown of kids. You may or may not know this. This was some good information. All children from 1 to 3 years, around 19 grams, and all children from 4 to 8 years old, 25 grams. So boys 9 to 13 is 31 grams, and girls 9 to 13 is 26 grams. That just gives you some perspective of, what your children, if you have children, should be doing or consuming as far as fiber. And I think I had some fun facts here. I'll kick 1 or 2 of these, and then we'll keep moving. We'll get you off out in that 70-degree weather today. So last thing, if you do so some people will do veggies in a format of blending them up, or they'll peel the apple, or they'll peel the banana, not the banana, but peel the other fruits and veggies. Sometimes it's better to keep the skin on, obviously, even if you're gonna, blend them up. Or you can take the skin off and use it in another format, because that's where you start losing a lot of your fiber. So think about that. If you do a lot of juicing, your fiber content drops significantly, because you're disintegrating a lot of the fiber content. Now, if you can consume all of it, it's going to help. But a lot of times, what happens is that machine will push some of that, obviously, content out. Let's see what else. There's a couple other things. 3 additional grams of fiber from oats. This is interesting, and I had to see how old this was. Fiber from oats can decrease blood cholesterol by 2%. And you got to watch marketing from those standpoint. So make sure that you're trying to get your fiber content up, because what it's going to do, it's going to stabilize your blood sugars. It's going to make it's going to have you have a sensation of being full, because your blood sugars are stabilized, and it takes longer to break down. It also takes more energy to break down that fiber to use as a fuel source. The other components, obviously, I talked about, is cardiovascular disease, blood lipids, GI function. Obviously, if a person's fiber is low, they're probably not regular. And at number 2, diabetes as well, because again, it stabilizes blood sugar, takes longer to break down. Obviously, it is a carbohydrate for the most part, but a fiber is carbohydrate. So that's how I typically build my meal, and I recommend it from our online coaching people. I'm starting to lose my recording, so it's probably good enough to kick off here. I just lost my Wi-Fi is starting to drop. So hopefully this helps. Again, if you guys want other components, what I'll try to do every Wednesday is shoot some educational things. Fiber popped up because I was listening to a podcast the other day, and she was talking about fiber in general as far as nutritional base and overall gut health. So last week I talked about gut health. That's part of good gut health, is getting a good amount of fiber in from a natural source, not from a supplement source. So have a great day. I'll talk to you next time.